everyone, welcome back to my session. My name is Vy Pham Haq. I'm an immigration attorney for Immigration Global. So today we're going to start our session with the K1 visa, which most of you will know as a fiancé visa. So we have phone calls coming in asking me, okay, what's the difference between a K1 visa and a marriage visa, which is also a spouse visa, or hey, which route do I take? Is it a K1 or is it a marriage visa? So those are the questions that I will be addressing today with you. So first of all, a K1 visa, as I stated, is a fiancé visa. There's a couple of requirements that you need for a K1 visa, and one of the most important requirements is that you have to meet your fiancé within the last 2 years. I know, with technology, people often ask, because of COVID, I haven't been to the country, or is it okay if we have FaceTime videos or any kind of social interact? And the answer is no. You must meet in person within the 2 years that we file for your application. And that's the most important requirements that you have to adhere by. Number two is that which path should I choose, the K1 or the marriage? And also which one's faster? So to address the question of which one should you choose, that depends. I know you guys don't like saying that when lawyers like, oh, it depends, right? Here's the reason why we say it depends. Depends on your partner. If you guys are truly in love and you really want to get married, absolutely, get the spouse visa. But let's say you're iffy, you're like, I don't know what it's like to be living together. We're really in love, but we're just not sure how it is because we never lived together. He or she would come to Vietnam and we hang out, right? We just live together or spend time together for about a month. And then he or she goes back to United States. So in that case, since you guys haven't lived together, I would highly recommend a K visa, which is a fiancé visa, because when you go to America with the K1 visa, you have about 90 days to get your marriage together, which means that 90 days, I call it the trial period, to see how it is like to live together, to actually live together versus someone else is on vacation and just going to Vietnam and you guys get to know each other. And those are really important things. And as well as time-wise, K1 is a bit faster than the marriage visa, but not by much. So this is all relative right now, right, because of COVID. So there's going to be a lot of backlog. So I'm just saying this just to estimate. So when you have a K1 visa, it usually takes from 6 months to 9 months. Sometime right now, to be honest, is a bit longer because of the backlog of all the visas, right? Because the world stopped for about 2 years. For the marriage visa, that depends, right? If you have a green card or you have a citizenship. So if a U.S. citizen, obviously, it's going to be a bit faster, right? So it's about a year and 2 months. If you have a green card, it's about a year and a half, 2 years. Again, that depends on your situation. So don't hold me up to this because it's all estimate because of COVID. So let's say you fell in love, you guys got engaged, and we filed your application, and congratulations, right? You approved. But before you get your approval, there's a couple steps you need to do as well. Your partner needs to able to provide financial support for you, able to show the government that you won't be burdened to United States. What does that mean? That means he has to earn an income of 125% over poverty line. If he doesn't, he needs a co-sponsor. Okay, and how do we prove that? We prove that his last 3 years of income tax, also with his W-2s. Let's say if he doesn't work, for example, then if have all the assets like stocks, like a car, then we're able to submit that to prove his stability in the finance aspect of it. Number two is for myself, I always provide a lot of pictures, If you guys go anywhere, make sure to take pictures, all those documents to prove that your relationship is bona fide, which is another word for real. Okay, let's you guys go do all this. Go to the interview. Like I said in my last couple of sessions, is that to make sure you practice your interview. I know you guys in love, and I know that relationship is real, but when you go to a counselor for the interview, you always get really nervous. Even if you go to the job interview, you get nervous, right? Let alone going to an interview for your fiancé visa. So make sure, get there a minimum 15 minutes early. Couple days before, make sure that all your documents are in order. Number 3 is to make sure that you practice for the interview. Simple questions, your birth date, his or her birth date, what they do for a living, all those stuff you need to know. So let's say you go to interview, you're ready, you pass, you got your visa, congratulations, you're super excited, but nervous at the same time. What do I do now? I don't know what America is. I have never been to America. But don't worry about it when you go there. And what are the rules and regulations with my visa when I'm in America? So with the fiancé visa, like I stated before, is that you have 90 days to get married. Because that way, we're thinking that 90 days is a trial period to see whether you want to stay in America and get married while you're living with your partner, or this is a mistake, we are not compatible, we don't live well together, so that way it gives you an opportunity to have that trial period. Let's say you decided, I'm really in love, this is great, I can see the future with him or her. What you would do is, before that 90 days, it's very important that before that 90 days, that you go to City Hall to get your marriage certificate. Okay, let's say you there for 90 days or 45 days, whatever the amount of time. You decided, we're not compatible, this is not my thing. Don't overstay your fiancé visa, because you can't just get engaged with another person and get another fiancé visa. That's not how it works. So again, within that time frame, you decided that guys not in love, not compatible. I would highly advise just go back home, right, and reset. So let's go back home and go back to Vietnam or any other country that you're from. So go back there and, just reset and see what happened. If you fall in love again in another couple years, do the whole process. He or she can sponsor you under a marriage visa or a fiancé visa. It's okay, to have a multiple fiancé visas, right? But I wouldn't do it so often, right? Then it become a really bad on your records. So go back home and then decide. Once you get married, you have to file what is called an adjustment of status, right? So now you don't have your green card yet, right? Because you're under a fiancé visa. So that's just a visa versus a marriage card, right? Because a marriage, once you come to the United States, you have that green card, which we're gonna talk a little bit later in the next session. So that is the K1 in a nutshell. If you guys have any questions, concerns, give me a call. The tagline is there, the link is there, so give us a call. I'll see you in the next section.